don't know why I'm frightened. I know my way around here. This stage, these lights, familiar sights, the sound here. Yes, a world to rediscover, but I'm not in any hurry, and I need a moment. The whispered conversations at overcrowded tables, I'll chase that high as long as I live. 'Cause you can't replace the feeling of the magic in the making. Yes, everything's as if we never said goodbye. It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for me. It's a neighborly day in this neighborhood, a neighborly day for me. Could you be mine? I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I've always wanted to live in a neighborhood with you. So let's make the most of this beautiful day. And since we're together, we might as well say, would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Good evening, everybody. I'm Russell, and this is John. Welcome home to the Abbey. I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I've always wanted to live in a neighborhood with you. So let's make the most of this beautiful day. And since we're together, we might as well say, would you be mine? Could you be mine? Would you be my neighbor? Won't you please? Won't you please? Please, won't you be my neighbor? Well, I put those shoes on in the dressing room. I was like, there's no way in hell they're staying on for the entire show. So I was like, oh wait, Mr. Rogers changes his shoes too, so why not me? Welcome everybody, thank you for coming. Thank you for braving downtown parking and Orlando in the rain and Orlando in the rain. That's enough for two reasons, so thank you for being here. I think most of y'all know me, I'm Russell Stevens, and this is my good friend John Olierchik on the piano. Yes. So I call this show Home. Don't worry, this is not like a Bo Burnham existential dread, like I've been sitting at home for the last year and a half, kind of like, I got 10 minutes into that and had to turn it off because I was like, not ready for that. And I don't have Xanax at home. It's more that I've been sitting at home, as have most of us, for the last year and a half, and I've been thinking about what is home. And I'm obviously not the first person to have that thought. The Garden Theater did its entire last season based around that concept, which actually leads us to our next song. One of my many homes, places that I'm happy to call home, is the Garden Theater. 2 years ago, right about this time, it was my privilege to be cast in the Garden's production of Ragtime. And I think like half of our cast is here tonight, and I'm very happy, like the entire New Rochelle family is here, which is awesome. So in Ragtime, there was a young man in the cast that I surprisingly did not get to have as much stage time with as I would have liked. I'm gonna start doing a scene change because that has to happen. And when I was putting this concert together, I thought, wait, that would be a good time, since we never had any real stage time together, now would be a good time to do a song with my friend Aidan Bankston, who is the little boy to my mother's younger brother. He is here tonight, so there it is. And I try not to ever be that person who's like, oh my God, you've gotten so big, but He's not a little boy anymore. So this song is from Seussical the Musical. We see Horton the elephant in the jungle of Newell, and he has heard a voice crying from a dust speck floating through the air. And everybody thinks he's insane, and he sits in a gentle spotlight downstage center and starts to think about that. I've been guarding this clover for over a week, getting laughed at for thinking that a dust speck can speak. Well, let them all laugh. I'll try not to mind, for I have found something that they'll never find. There are secrets on a leaf, in the water, in the air, hidden planets, tiny worlds, all invisible. Not a person seems to know, not a person seems to care. There is no one who believes a thing I say. Well, I'm fairly certain, at one time or other, great thinkers all feel this way. I'm alone in the universe, so alone in the universe. I found magic, but they don't see it. They all call me a lunatic. Okay, call me a lunatic. If I stand on my own, so be it. 'Cause I have wings, yes, I can fly around the moon and far beyond the sky. And one day soon, I know there you'll be. One small voice in the universe, one true friend in the universe, who believes in me.
I'm alone in the universe, so alone in the universe. My own planets and stars all away.
Alone in the universe.
No one notices anything, not one person is listening. They don't have any way of knowing.
I have wings,
Wings,
and far beyond the sky. Well, someday soon, I know there you'll be. One small voice in the universe,
one true friend in the universe.
please believe in me. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Who's there?
It's me, Jojo, the mayor's son.
Oh, well, I'm Horton, the elephant.
Are you real, or are you a very large thing?
I'm real, all right. I would state that in ink.
In my thinks, I imagine such strange things and go strange places. I love a good think.
Well, for me, that goes double.
Sometimes my thinks are what get me in trouble.
When you think, do you dream?
In bright colors.
Me too. And I go to strange places like Sala Salou.
When you think, do you think you could fly to the stars?
Oh, little friend, no one else can have things such as ours. Yes, I have wings. Yes, I can fly. And far beyond the sky, you call my name, and you set me free. One small voice in the universe,
One true friend in the universe.
who believes in me. Good night, Jojo.
Good night, Horton. See you in Solace Salou.
Horton's been a bucket list role for a very long time, and I came close a couple months ago, and then, 2021 happened. But what are you gonna do? Speaking of dream roles, I didn't want that to be like a share here, Toss. So last year, John and I did a show here in June. It was in that brief little glimmering. Hannah McKinley was in the audience. And it was that brief little glimmering moment of time where things we thought were starting to open back up, and then it wasn't even the second wave, it was like the 1.5 wave. But while we were here that night, between mic check and when I started singing, I found out that I had landed one of my dream roles. Still at the Garden Theater, I got to play Cornelius Hackle in Hello Dolly. And with no exaggeration, it changed my life. It brought me out of a huge funk. It made me remember, I think, why God put me on this earth. And I discovered a new home in Yonkers, New York. Out there's a world outside of Yonkers, way out there beyond this hick town, Barnaby. There's a slick town, Barnaby, out there, full of shine and full of sparkle. Close your eyes and see it glisten, Barnaby. Listen, Barnaby. But on your Sunday clothes, there's lots of world out there. Get out the brilliantine and dine cigars. We're gonna find adventure in the evening air. Girls in white in a perfumed night, where the lights are bright as the stars. But on your Sunday clothes, we're gonna ride through town in one of those new horse-drawn open cars. We'll join the Astors at Tony Pastor's and bet some positive on that we won't come home until we fall in love. Yes, New York, it's really us, Barnaby and Cornelius. Some were born with rags and patches, but we used dollar bills for matches. And Vanderbilt, Calthouse was J.P. Morgan, scrapes and bows to us. We've got elegance, we were born with elegance. Have you noticed when I hold my cup, the saucer never moves? And the way I keep my pinky up indubitably proves that we've got elegance. If you ain't got elegance, you can never ever carry it off. And there's someone you hardly know, and wish you were closer to. Remember that she can be near to you while you're dancing. Though you've only just said hello, she's suddenly someone who can make all your daydreams appear to you while you're dancing. Make the music weave a spell, whirl away your worry. Things look almost twice as well when they're slightly blurry. As around and around you go, your spirits will hit the top. And now that we're dancing, who cares if we ever stop? 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And now that we're dancing, who cares if we ever stop? It only takes a moment for your eyes to meet, and then your heart knows in a moment you will never be alone again. I held her for an instant, but my arms felt sure and strong. It only takes a moment to be loved a whole life long. Isn't the world full of wonderful things? There I sat, cooped up in Yonkers for years and years, and all that time, wonderful people like Mrs. Malloy were walking around in New York, and I didn't know them at all. Now, I don't know if you all can tell from where you're sitting. Well, for instance, the way her eye and forehead and cheek come together up here. Can you? I tell you, a fine woman is the greatest work of God on earth. You can go on all you like about Niagara Falls and the pyramids, but they're not in it at all. Of course, I've seen women before, but today I talked to women equal to equal, and they are so different from men, and they're oddly mysterious too. And I bet you could know a woman 100 years and never really be certain whether she liked you or not. Today, I've lost so many things. My job, my future, everything that people think is important. I don't care. Even if I have to dig ditches for the rest of my life, I will be a ditch digger who once had a wonderful day. And that is all that love's about, and we'll recall when time runs out, that it only took a moment to be loved a whole life long. Yeah, Mr. Cornelius Hackle offers he occupies a significant amount of real estate in my heart, and I'm happy that I got to share him with a lot of y'all that might not have been able to come down, or that got to see it and you had to see me do all of that with a mask. Yeah. And it sounds like a lot of y'all realize this was the ribbon that we used in the show. Lindsay and Joe that choreographed and directed Dolly, they were trying to figure out how you can do this big, huge musical, all these big, wonderful dances in it, without touching, and I think Amy Sue Hardy sent them a video of buskers in Manhattan using string to dance with each other. And they're like, that's it, and there's ribbons in the hat shop, so that's it. So this was This was the ribbon that I shared with Lily Eliza Thomas, my Mrs. Malloy. We each have half. So something that I do not have in common with Mr. Hackle I think both of us are deep down inside little drunk baby giraffes who are just doing their best. Something that he gets that I have not gotten yet is that he gets to walk off into the sunset with the love of his life at the end of the show. I have not quite been so lucky yet. I've had lots of attempts and lots of miserable failures. And when I was thinking about that, I just thought, you know, who else could express that for me better than Stephen Sondheim? It started out like a song. We started quiet and slow, with no surprise. And then one morning I woke to realize we had a good thing going. It's not that nothing went wrong. Some angry moments, of course, but just a few. And only moments, no more, because we knew we had this good thing going. And if I wanted too much, was that such a mistake at the time? You never wanted enough, or a tough, I don't make that a crime. And while it's going along, you take for granted some love will wear away. You took for granted a lot, but still I say we could have kept on growing instead of just kept on. We had a good thing going. So, I'm 31 and single, and I will say ready to mingle. And you very may well be asking yourself, well, Russell, at your age, what kind of white knight do you expect to come riding along? Well, I'm not waiting for Luther Griner, who backs me to the ancient history shelf every time he comes into the library. All I want is a clean man, a modest man, a kind man, a straightforward and honest man, and not Ed Gamage in that buggy of his, with the removable back seat. But I'm not waiting for a man in shining white armor either. My white knight, not a Lancelot, nor an angel with wings, just someone to love me, who is not ashamed of a few nice things. My white knight, what my heart would say if it only knew how. Please, dear Venus, show me now all I want. quiet and a gentle man, a straightforward and honest man to sit with me in a cottage somewhere in the state of Florida, and I would like him to be more interested in me than he is in himself, and more interested in us than in me. And if occasionally he'd ponder what makes Shakespeare and Beethoven great, him I could love till I die. Him I could love till I die. My white knight, not a Lancelot, nor an angel with wings, just someone to love me, who is not ashamed of a few nice things. My white knight, let me walk with him while the others ride by. Walk and love him till I die. Till I die. Hi, Jonathan. I just love that a straight guy from Iowa in the mid 1950s knew exactly what I was looking for in a future husband. It's just one of those little moments of musical theater synchronicity that I'm like, okay, I am in the right place doing the right thing, right? Y'all, get ready. So, the night that I had been planning this show for a while, and I was here at the Abbey. It was the closing night of Hext with not Center for Community Arts, Celebration Theater Company. I'm on the board of Celebration Theater Company, my thing. And it was the closing night, and Christy was in the show, and I had already been talking to her about doing a song, which you'll hear later. And she came up to me and she said, "Would you consider singing this song?" Not this next song, but I'm withholding the title for dramatic effect. And I started sobbing uncontrollably for half an hour. 30 minutes, there it is. Partially because I've been sipping on the Rowdy Russell, as it is on board tonight, for about 2.5 hours solid. But also because the song that she asked me to sing, I have a very specific, made-up thought process for in the back of my head. And one of the people that figures into that thought process in the back of my head is my friend Danita Jones. 20 years ago, I still don't feel like I'm old enough to be remembering things that happened 20 years ago. But 20 years ago, Danita's dad was my 6th grade teacher. I was sitting in his classroom when we watched the second plane hit the Twin Tower. And because of the school we went to a magnet for creative and performing arts called the Academy for Academics and Arts. And I know that everybody thinks that their school is the most special one in the world, but that school is the most special one in the entire world. I don't know how to describe it. So Danita's dad was my 6th grade teacher. Her mom taught 3rd grade at the same school and also accompanied our middle school show choirs that toured around, and we came to Disney for Magic Music Days in 2004. And over the course of the last 10 years or so ago, Danita and I became very good friends and kept in touch on Facebook and have visited each other. And I called her that night. That's why I was talking about crying at the Abbey. I called Danita that night. And she was like, "Is something wrong?" I was like, no. Well, I mean, I'm a mess, but nothing's wrong. And I asked her if she would come down and sing a few songs with me, and lo, she did. So, my friend, Danita Jones. that we have in common, we are both Leos.
Hey!
Very Leos.
Hey!
And every so often, as you heard in the introduction of my last song, I sometimes forget that I am empowered to be a Leo. Believe me, you see me when I'm good. You don't see me when I'm like holding my Shih Tzu Joe in bed, like hugging him. It's like, Joe, just give me a kiss, and he's like, Dad, this is weird. He's 11 years old and blind in one eye, and he has no time. But sometimes I have to call on my fellow Leos to remind me that I need to suck it up and just be a damn lion.
Yes.
There is a place we'll go where there is mostly quiet. Flowers and butterflies, a rainbow there beside it. And from the vacant sky, a summer you can feel the coolness in the air, but you're still. And then a mighty roar will start the sky to quiet, but not even lightning will be brightening my life. No fear inside, no need to run, no need to hide. You're standing strong and tall. You're the greatest of them all.
never sung that before. I'm like, what? And now I feel better. So that was the magic that was in our school. It was like, that was just, you would hear that on a Tuesday morning. And that's part of why I am the way that I am. It should probably surprise none of you that a gay man doing a cabaret didn't have the easiest childhood. That's not to say, I was talking to my mom the other day, and I was like, Mom, I kind of feel like I was robbed of something that I didn't really have, like a traumatic childhood. But growing up gay and loving musical theater in Alabama was, it had its difficulties. And I wish I had Deneen's about 10 years older than me. I wish that we had been closer when I was in school, because I'm like, she would have gotten me through it. But one voice that was kind of constant through my life, you've already heard a little bit from, and I forgot it or didn't pay attention to it for some reason. And a couple years ago, I was driving down the road and it came on the radio. It wasn't the original recording, but it was a voice, and it reminded me what I needed to keep in mind. It's you I like, not the things you wear, not the way you do your hair, but it's you I like, the way you are right now, the way down deep inside you, not the things that hide you, not your toys, they're just beside you, but it's you I like, every part of you, your skin, your eyes, your feelings, whether old or new. I hope that you'll remember, even when you're feeling blue, that it's you I like, it's you yourself, it's you I like. And it's taken, I'm 31, it's taken the better part of the last 31 years of my life to get to the point where I can look myself in the mirror and say to myself, I hope that I'll remember, even when I'm feeling blue, that it's me I like, it's me myself, it's me, it's me I like. So, I have lots of memories associated with this next song coming up. I was watching the Tony Awards with my mom in 2005, and Jerry Mitchell won the Tony for Best Choreography for his revival of La Cage aux Folles. And when they announced his name, they obviously took the camera straight to him, and he kissed his partner that he was with, and my mom turned off the TV. Not because she was trying to throw any shade or cast any aspersions, but she didn't know how to react with me in the room. I mean, she knew. I'm sure she knew because, hi. But then several years later, the Carton Theater, I keep referring to the Carton Theater did La Cage, and my dear friend Matt Arter lived that show as Alvin. And the minute that he started singing this next song, my mom was with me. She just happened to be in town, and I got the last 2 tickets. And he spoke the first lyrics of the show. And she put her hand on my knee and gave me a little squeeze. And I knew it was going to be fine. I am what I am. I am my own special creation. So come take a look. Give me the hook or the ovation. It's my world that I want to have a little pride in. My world, and it's not a place I have to hide in. Life's not worth a damn till you can say, hey world, I am what I am what I am. I don't want praise, I don't want pity. I bang on drum. Some think it's noise, I think it's pretty. And so what if I love each feather and each angle? Why not try to see things from a different angle? Your life is a sham till you can shout out loud, I am what I am. I am what I am, and what I am needs no excuses. I deal my own deck. Sometimes the ace, sometimes the deuces. There's one life, and there's no return and no deposit. One life, so it's time to open up your closet. Life's not worth a damn till you can say, hey world, I am what I am. So we're going to take a little break. Please enjoy the bar. Please tip your bartenders. We'll be back in 15 minutes or so. Russell Stevens came to Orlando, Florida, and did his first Disney College program. I was a character performer, and I got to be friends with a lot of incredibly magical people, and became friends with a lot of more magical people, which is why I am here today. And out of all of the places that I call home, I feel like the Magic Kingdom is one of the most special. We're a cue behind, bear with me. The evening star is shining bright, so make a wish and hold on tight. There's magic in the air tonight, and anything can happen. It's still no less magical. A lot of the people in this room I actually know because of the experiences I had at Disney. And I would not take anything else in the world for it. And there's still, y'all all know, you've been, when you round that corner at the end of Main Street by the confectionery and you see the castle. What can be better than that? A kingdom full of endless dreams for every girl and boy. Wondrous plans of make-believe will fill your heart with joy. A castle leads the entranceway to 7 lands and more. Step inside our storybook, imagine what's in store. It's all pure magic, wrapped up in pixie dust. Welcome to a place where dreams come true. A timeless journey through lands of fantasy. Creates things like this to appear. The most magical place on earth is here. I'm walking right down the middle of Main Street, USA. It's the heart of America, the heartbeat of a holiday. Oh, the place was made with a magical plan, and just around the corner there's a fantasy land. I'm walking right down the middle of Main Street, USA. Tell your mother she's not to worry, 'cause no one's rushing, there's no big hurry. You're never alone or left out in the cold. There's always someone there to pick you up, 'cause we are links in a chain. Silver and gold. We are part of a pattern about to unfold. We are heroes of stories as yet to be told. We come together on this day. There's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow shining at the end of every day. There's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. And tomorrow is just a dream away. A man has a dream, and that's the start. He follows that dream with mind and heart. And when it becomes a reality, it's a dream come true for you and me. So there's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow shining at the end of every day. There's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow, just a dream away. Y'all read the Magic Kingdom, it's hot. It's a world of laughter, a world of tears. It's a world of hope and a world of fears. There's so much that we share that it's time we're aware It's a small world after all. There is just one moon and one golden sun, and a smile means friendship to everyone. Though the mountains divide and the oceans are wide, it's a small world after all. 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 It's a small, small world. It's a small world after all. It's a small, small world. When I was on my first college program, I got to take an entertainment class with the technical director of the entire resort. Flounder is his name. And he was telling us about what it was like being in the parks on 9/11 and then the next day on 9/12. And he said it was weird, like people kept feeling like they felt guilty that they were in such an incredible place while there was such grief in the world. And then he had the realization, no, that's why we're here. We create happiness. It's our job to make people forget that there is such grief in the world. And he closed his speech with something that I will never forget. He looked at us and said, it doesn't matter what's wrong in the world. Main Street USA makes everything okay. The battles, the glories, the losses, and all their stories were changed by the way we live every day. Just look up and reach to the sky. We all have the courage to fly. You can fly. The story comes alive when we look inside a new adventure here in your eyes. It's just beginning. Feel your heart beat faster. Reach down inside. Reach down inside. Reach down and find your happily ever after. Special shout out to David Lowe. 3 days ago, I woke up and I sounded like B. Arthur on a bad day. And I texted and I said, Dad, he's the only person in my life that I call Dad who is not my father, and that's Dad, not Daddy. So he is the reason that I'm able to get any sound out tonight, so thank you, Dad, I appreciate it. So that was a tribute to my current home. I mean, I know that I don't live in the Magic Kingdom, but I can go whenever I want to, as long as there's a reservation available. And this next song is a tribute to somewhere that I hope one day to call home. The wonders of the world are said to stop at 7. But truth to tell, my figures don't agree. I number them at 8, with one so close to heaven. The others pale, their magic stale. Just take a look and see. Step right up to treasure eye. Every inch of it is sky high, my fairy tale land, only in New York. for years, then overnight success I know firsthand, only in New York. Each day it's free admission to those who dream. You set your sights all the way upstream. Off you go, for you know that cream will rise. Make that wish, seek that thrill. Come and get it, 'cause you always will. Strike up the band, only in New York. Each day it's free admission to those who dream. You set your sights all the way upstream. Off you go, for you know that cream will rise, rise, new, improved, and rearranged. It's ever-changing and it's never changed. Oh, life on command. Hear what I'm saying, oh, but it's grand. That's why I'll be staying right there as planned. Only in New York. Only in New York. Only in New York. But while I'm still in Orlando, I've got to find, places where I feel comfortable and places where, I don't know, you go and people know your name when you walk in the door. My love to the Hammered Man, making my way in the world today takes everything I've got. But when it comes to, I just forgot the words, sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name. And you're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see people are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. You wanna be where people know your troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. And I don't think of it as a bad thing necessarily that I walk into the Hammered Lamb, which is my Cheers, and they say, "Hey, Russell, did you want a Joyland tonight?" And I say, "Yes, Sean, yes I do." And one of my favorite opposite corners of the Hammered, he's not an opposite corner, one of my favorite people to patronize the Hammered Lamb with, the aforementioned Dr. David Lowe. Not only is he an orthodontist and a world-class actor and an award-winning dancer.
That's true. That's absolutely true. Yeah. Yeah. Is that right, honey? It's a huge trophy. It's huge.
Well,
Sit down here. I was realizing something. I don't think I've had this much of your saliva on me since you were in
Since I was in his office.
office, not orifice, office. She's right there, Russell.
It is a long-time dream of mine to one day play Alban to David's George and Lakash. But until that time comes, we figured we could settle for another Jerry Herman duet.
We'll always be bosom buddies, friends, brothers, and pals. We'll always be bosom buddies. If life should reject you, there's me to protect you. If I say that your tongue is vicious, if I call you uncouth, it's simply that. Who else but our bosom buddy will sit down and tell you the truth? Though now and again I'm aware that my candid opinion may sting,
Though often my frank observation might scald. I've been meaning to tell you for years, you should keep your hair natural, like mine.
if I kept my hair natural like yours, I'd be bald.
Who's gonna tell him?
What? We'll always be dear companions, my crony,
My mate.
we'll always be harmonizing.
Notice that I was on top. Orphan Annie and Sandy.
My name isn't Andy if I say that your sense of style is far off as your youth. Ah! Welcome our bosom buddy to give you the obvious truth.
This coming from a man wearing Vans.
Each time that the critic writes that you're queer as a $3 bill,
He can say it, it's okay.
straight to your side to defend you, I'll rush.
Dad, you know that I'm there every time that the world makes an unkind remark. When they say that David Lowe is the world's greatest lush,
I'll own it.
but still, it hurts me.
And if I say your fangs are showing, bitch, just pull in your claws. It's simply that. Who else in our bosom buddy can notice the obvious flaws?
I feel it's my duty to tell you it's time to adjust to your age. You try to be Prince Charming when you're really Macbeth. Exactly how old are you, David? The truth.
What all do you think?
I'd say somewhere in between 40 and death. Ass. But,
Sweetie, I'll always be Andy Griffith if you'll be Barney Fife.
and though I'll admit I dished you,
I gossiped and gloated, but I'm so devoted.
and if I say that sex and guts made you into a star, it's simply that. Who else but a bosom buddy will tell you how rotten you are? Just turn to your bosom buddy for aid and affection, for help and direction, for loyalty, love, and forsooth. Remember that. Who else but a bosom buddy will sit down and level and give you the devil will tell you the truth.
I mean, people of a certain age will get this. When he asked me to do bosom buddies, I was like, yeah, I know My Life by Billy Joel. Yeah. There you go, Tom Hanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, David Lowe. get the reference, but young enough to have never seen the TV show. So my next friend is another frequenter of the Hammered Land with me and Dad. Last year, in November, I made my directorial debut in Orlando with Sondheim on Sondheim right here at the Abbey. And David was supposed to be in it, but he got a better offer, so I had to begrudgingly fill the part that he had left open. And one of my greatest joys in that show was getting to share the stage with my next guest, Christy Kang. Yes, you. 5, 6, 7, 8, Patty. And because of the way that Sondheim on Sondheim is built, it's a review, and in the script, it's like Godspell. It's all the names of the original people that played the parts on Broadway, and that gave me the liberty to mix and match. And so, like, good thing going that I sang in Act 1 on Broadway was performed by the inimitable Vanessa Williams, but I reclaimed it for myself because I wanted to.
You just wanted to sing that song.
I did.
That's Vanessa.
That's what we call him.
Ladies and gentlemen, Broadway's Jared Bradshaw. No, literally, Broadway's Jared Bradshaw. I'm not joking. The Merrily Overture was for you, by the way. But one of my favorite parts in that show every night was getting to do this next song with Christy, because we just got to tear into each other for a couple of minutes.
What?
Could drive a person crazy. You could drive a person mad.
Yeah.
First you make a person hazy, so a person could be had.
Yeah.
Then you leave a person dangling sadly outside your
That wasn't
door,
even
which
me.
only makes a person gladly want you even more.
Thank you so much for sharing. You
Yes.
can drive a person buggy.
Funny 'cause I hate that.
You could blow a person's cool. First you make a person feel all huggy, while you make her feel a fool. When a person says that you upset her, that's when you impersonate a person better than a zombie should.
I could understand a person.
I could understand a person if he said to go away.
Understand a
I
person.
could understand a person if he happened to be gay. Yeah, but a person that titillates a person and then leaves her
Him fly.
is crazy. You're a troubled person. You're a truly crazy person. Yourself. I am so glad we're having this little chat.
Well, I'm glad that you're glad, Christy. When a person's personality is personable, she should not sit like a lump.
Whatever, man.
It's harder than a matador coercible to try to get you off of your
I
run.
was laid off. So single and attentive and attractive a man is anything a person could wish.
I know, right?
But turning off a person is the act of a man who likes to pull the hooks out of fish.
Literally never fished in my
Okay,
life.
knock, knock, is anybody there? Knock, knock, it really isn't fair. Knock, knock, I'm working on my charms. These are different than mine. Knock, knock, a zombie's in my arms. All that sweet affection, what is wrong? Where's the loose connection? How long, oh Lord, how long? Bobby, baby, Bobby. You can drive a person crazy. You can drive a person mad.
You could blow a person's cool.
First you make a person happy.
First you get them feeling huggy.
So a person could be
While you make them feel a fool, exclusive you, elusive you. Will any person ever get the juice of you?
You're crazy.
You're crazy.
You're a lovely person.
You're a lovely person.
You're a movie.
Deeply maladjusted.
Never to be trusted. Crazy person. You're so
It's awful.
Can you just, I need a
I've missed you, John. I love you so much. I'm sitting with your girlfriend, so I gotta play it cool, but she's literally right there. I'm fine. Everything's fine.
So our next, while we take a moment to gather ourselves and tuck my shirt back in, this is the reason that I put the show together in the way that I did. When I got to do I met Christy while I was doing Ragtime, and but I had been a fan of yours before that. Because, so I'm the chair of Celebration Theater Company, and 2 years before I became the chair, we did Heathers, the musical, and this goddess walked out onto the stage in the most perfect blonde lace front wig and that red 80s like blazer skirt combo. And I have never questioned my sexuality so severely.
It was Heather's Day yesterday.
Do I?
It was Heather's Day yesterday.
I don't know what that means.
It's September 1st, 1989.
Oh.
Heather, you know, I mean, Hannah, shut up. I love you.
So we became friends and have gotten that. Was Sundown the only show that we were in together?
Yeah.
That sucks.
You don't let me do your other stuff.
But we met.
Nothing.
I'm so pretty. No, so we met while we were doing Ragtime and became good friends, thank God. And during Ragtime, I played Mother's younger brother, and while this next song was being sung, I was sitting in the wings in the tightest little corner that I could squeeze myself into just so I could watch this next song be sung. It's Mother and Tate, who have run into each other years after they first met, and they're on the beach on the boardwalk in Atlantic City, and they take a moment to remark about how their kids have struck up such a wonderful friendship. And I've got to pull up a poem to read, bear with me. And I sat there, we had like a 5-week run plus tech on rehearsals, and so I watched it a couple of times, so I had a lot of time to think about it. And I'm not trying to, be maudlin or, have pity or anything, but my mom told me that at one point when I was in like 4th or 5th grade, I got in the car after school and sat down, and I was just very quiet, and she was like, "Russell, is everything okay?" And I was like, "Yeah." "Did you have a good day at school?" "Yeah." She didn't press it, and a couple minutes later I just looked at her and I said, "Mom, I wish I just had one friend." And 20 however many years later, not only do I have a room full of friends and people that will fly down from Alabama to sing with me when I ask them to, I've got friends with a capital F. So sitting there watching that, they're singing about their children, and the perspective that slid its way sideways into my mind was, this is the conversation that I imagine my ancestors to be having. Let me read this one first. My mom was an English teacher for 35 years. This is from The Chambered Nautilus by Oliver Wendell Holmes. It's one of the poems that she taught. And the final stanza is talking about the nautilus, the sea creature that builds the perfectly spiral shell. And it ends with, "Build thee more stately mansions, O my soul, as the swift seasons roll. Leave thy low vaulted past, let each new temple, nobler than the last, shut thee from heaven with a dome more vast, till thou at length art free, leaving thine outgrown shell by life's unresting sea." And the poem is it's comparing this sea creature that keeps building a more perfect and more beautiful and more incredible home as each season passes it by. But that phrase, life's unresting sea, stuck with me for forever. And one night watching Amy Sue and Michael sing this song, I was like, this could very well be the conversation that my ancestors are having on the other side of that unresting sea. Saying, look at him. He found his way there. So that's where my mind went. And we were here that night at the Abbey, and Christy asked me if I would sing this song, and I started sobbing.
For 30 minutes.
For 30 minutes. Because she didn't know that I had built up that whole narrative in the back of my head.
I watched the whole thing.
30 minutes. But never laughed like this.
Every waking moment bliss. Our children.
See them running down the beach. Children run so fast
Toward the future.
from the past.
How they dance, unembarrassed and alone, hearing music of their own. Our children,
One so fair,
and the other light and dark, solemn joy and some spark. Our children,
see them running down the beach. Children run so fast toward the future from the past. There they stand, making footprints in the sand, and forever hand in hand. Our children, two smiles, silhouetted by the blue, one like me and one like you. Our children. Our children. You say that often? Well,
It is because I don't know what to say, Baron.
of course, I'm not a baron. I'm a poor immigrant. A Jew who points a camera so his daughter can dress as beautifully as a princess. I want to drive from her memory every tenement stench and filthy immigrant street. I will buy her light and sun and the clean wind of the ocean for the rest of her life. Now you know me. Now you know. I'm no baron. I'm Tate.
Now I know even less what to say.
And perhaps it is my turn. Well,
Thank you for your confidence. I will keep it here. Do I put this over there?
no, keep it there. Keep it there.
Okay.
I gotta be ready for the next two.
Juggle, juggle.
Yep. I went to Bama, so I know how to do that. So the next two songs, I'll be welcoming back to the stage Danita. March of on St. Patrick's Day, actually. It was actually on St. Patrick's Day. I was in Huntsville visiting my parents, and oh wait, no. I'm so sorry. Not yet, Danita. I'm so sorry. Mentally, I'm in the right place, but in the set list, I skipped ahead. So, no, because there isn't one, and no, I'm good. But I'm going to sing a song about my parents. We don't make me go there, Danita. My parents are the most extraordinary people, y'all. They both grew up very poor in deep South Alabama, like right after the Depression. I will never forget, as long as I live, like I think I was upset about like not getting a Christmas present that I wanted or something, and my dad said, you know, Ralphie, when we were kids, we were lucky to get an apple in our stocking. So, yeah, my dad called me Ralphie and Randy because of A Christmas Story. And I love that. And he gave me a BB gun, and I did not shoot any of that. But and it took me, I've always been a mama's boy, big surprise. And it took me until the last 10 years or so to really appreciate what my dad did for us. And in the last year and a half or so, he's become even more of a hero of mine. My mom has developed this really shitty autoimmune disorder that's disintegrating the nerve linings in her hands and wrists. So her mobility has been messed up, her stamina, just her sense of well-being has been messed up. And I hate seeing that my beautiful, vivacious mom, she is an Aquarius queen, is more or less stuck at home. So when I went home in March, I called Danita and I called another couple of our friends, and we did a little cabaret for them in our living room. And my mom was like, "Why do you want to have the piano tuned?" I'm like, "It should be tuned every 10 years or so, right?" I think it had been 20 years, but who's kidding? And I picked this next song to sing for them. It's not about them, but it makes me think of them a whole lot. About what a beautiful partnership they have. They've been married for 54 years in August, and they're not slowing down. Very special are we for just a moment to be part of life's eternal rhyme. How very special are we to have on our family tree Mother Earth and Father Time. He turns the seasons around, so she changes her gown, but they always look in their prime. They go on dancing their dance of everlasting romance, Mother Earth and Father Time. Larks return to sing, oh what a gift they give. Then autumn days grow short and dark, oh what a joy to live. How very special are we for just a moment to be part of life's eternal rhyme. How very special are we to have on our family tree Mother Earth and Father Time.
So now it's Danita's turn.
I'm gonna talk. So these next two songs we also sang for my parents in March. The first one is from the musical based on The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain. By Mark Twain. No. I really am not, I promise. And it's always struck me for some reason. I don't know. I've only seen it a couple of times, but Big River wasn't an album that I grew up with for some reason, which sucks. It's amazing. And when I was putting this list together in March, and I knew that Danita was going to be able to join me, it fell into my head. It just struck me not too long ago that outward appearances, where we are in life, we are two completely separate people on two completely different paths. And I'm very grateful that our paths intersected at just the right time. But this song is about how you can have two people who are completely on polar opposite ends of the world, but they can still come together in a moment and appreciate what they do have in common. I see the same stars through my window that you see through yours, but we're worlds apart, worlds apart. And you see the same skies through brown eyes that I see through blue, but we're worlds apart. Worlds apart, just like the earth, just like the sun. Two worlds together are better than one. And you see the sunrise in my eyes that you see through yours, but we're worlds apart, worlds apart. I see the same stars through brown eyes that you see through blue, but we're worlds apart, worlds apart. And I see the same skies through my eyes that you see through yours, but we're worlds apart, worlds apart, just like the earth, just like the sun. Two worlds together are better than one. I see the friendship in your eyes that you see through mine, but we're worlds apart, worlds apart, together, worlds apart. And a mockingbird sings in the old yonder tree. Tweedledee-dee-da, I mean, when you've got friends like mine. So this next song, I can almost guarantee that nobody's ever heard of it, which makes me really happy. This was kind of an unofficial theme song from the school that we went to, and it was like a B-side on the Jennifer Holiday album.
A very lost song.
Yeah.
Yes. Nobody had heard of it.
And you tell the story.
So at our school, you have to audition. And even though my mother was the pianist, and if you knew my mother, she was this, out in public, she was this very like pristine Southern Belle woman, very proper. But back at our house, she was like, when you go in an audition, you gotta sound. You have to have your life together. And so our mentor, Deb Fleischman, who was in charge, my mother was the pianist, like she played everything. And so, everybody just kind of expected that, if Danita's gonna audition, Danita's gonna get it. My mother's like, no, you're gonna go in there and you gotta prove that you deserve to be in this, So we had cycled through all of these songs, like the cliche stuff, the Wiz stuff and Dreamgirls stuff. And finally my sister, who was obsessed with everything 90s at the time, runs in with the CD and she's like, you have to hear this song. And it's this song that we're about to sing. And my mother was just like, I love it, but we're gonna change it.
She's a woman after my own heart.
So she listens to it and then she readjusts it for the audition. And I go in my 7th grade year and I audition with this song and I make it. And then Debbie Fleischman says, you know what, this is gonna be the finale song for every show that we do. To the unfortunate chagrin of all of the 8th graders that usually get like the big finale songs at the end, here comes the 7th grader with this song that no one's heard of, belting out at the end of the school year, and everybody's crying and the 8th graders are mad, so and it kind of like stayed around. So fast forward to, was it the 25th anniversary?
Yes.
Fast forward the 25th anniversary of the school, and they invite everybody back, and we were having to do all these different, everybody's remembering all the choreography from our stuff, and I'm gonna be grand and a little diva-ish, and so I'm gonna wear my 6-inch stiletto heels, because of course I'm a Leo. And so Debbie Fleischman, we have to do this big waltz, right? And Debbie Fleischman sees me come up on stage, and I'm like 6 inches taller than I really should be. And she says, go, you see that tall blonde boy over there? Go partner with him.
The big dumb blonde boy. Was my nickname.
The big tall blonde. She's like, go partner with the big tall blonde boy. And so I go, and I'm used to leading whenever I'm in a dance, partnership kind of thing on stage. And it's the Christmas waltz, and you have that big grand beginning, and it goes frosted, and then Russell kind of like yanks me into position. And I swear to God, I don't think my feet touched the ground. I was just like, oh, this is how dancing is supposed to go? Oh my God, this is incredible. And he waltzed into my heart that day. And like, we've been here ever since. So that's our story.
So specifically for this song, when I was in 8th grade, Stars and Clowns, which was our show choirs, we did the trip to Disney for Magic Music Days. And the end of our show was Dream Out There, as we call it. That's not the actual title of the song. But Danita was already married and...
Yeah. I hadn't had kids yet. I was already married. And they called me, they're just like, we need you to come to Florida and sing with these 8th graders. And I was like, are y'all going to Disney World? They're like, yeah. And I was like, can I go? And they're like, yeah. I was like, I'll sing whatever you want. I will tap dance right on into Main Street, USA.
And so that was 2004. In 2012, when I was graduating from Alabama, I did my senior recital, and I didn't want to just grab a stack of songbooks and go into the Black Box Theater with our musical theater teacher and just I'm going to sing my rep book. No. So I did this concert at my church that I sang at, and first half was all my favorite Broadway, the second half was all my favorite Disney, and I had a realization that this song was one of the only songs that I've ever actually sung at Disney. I still haven't made it through those auditions yet. I almost did last year, and then they said phone calls will go out mid-March, and then so I Facebook messaged Danita and said, would y'all come to Tuscaloosa and do Dream Out There? And they did. And that was December, and Mrs. Wilson, who arranged it, there is no sheet music for it. It was the last time she ever played it. And a couple of years ago, when I met John, and I was like, oh, this guy's incredible.
Yes,
Which,
sir.
Yeah.
sent John a message. I was like, hey, here's a recording. There is no sheet music for this. I would love a lead sheet if you could maybe help. 20 minutes later, I had it in my inbox, and now I'm able to sing it tonight. Stay strong, I tell myself. When things are going wrong, there's times I'd love to be a winner, but as I see my chances growing dimmer, to the memories, small one, my mama said. Life has just begun. You'll see the rage and stormy weather, but I literally have nowhere else that I can go after that. So I'm gonna wrap things up. Thank y'all so much for coming. Big thanks to Zach on sound and Chad on lights. I think Freddie and Russell at the bar, right? Sure. Freddie and Russell. This has been, selfishly, this has been really wonderful for my soul. It's been, y'all know, it's been a shitty couple of years. And it's nights like this and having the chance to sing with these incredible people that I'm blessed to have in my life that give me the strength to get out of bed every day. So thank you. I would like to end with a toast if we could. I will be toasting with water because I am dehydrated for the ages. I heard this on a new TV show that I'm watching, and I paused it, first of all, because I was crying. I'm gonna get closer. Oh, no, I did not. No, I didn't. But I think I still remember it. In the incredible words of one Mr. Ted Lasso. Here's to the family you're born with and the family that you find along the way. We just have one more thought after that. It's such a good feeling to know you're alive. It's such a happy feeling. You're growing inside, and when you wake up ready to say, I think I'll make a snappy new day. It's such a good feeling, a very good feeling. The feeling you know that I'll be back when the day is new. And I'll have more ideas for you, and you'll have things you'll want to talk about. I will too. Again, thank you so much for coming. Can we give one more hand?